Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to share with you all of my high-end makeup favorites from 2018. So if you want to know like my best in beauty of all my high-end makeup products that came out this year, then just keep on watching. Alright, so I narrowed everything down to products that just came out in 2018 or like at the very end of 2017. Otherwise, there was just like a bunch of makeup products that may be older that I just discovered this year, but I needed to narrow it down to like the 30 products that I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to start off like in the order of how I do my makeup, and I'm going to start off with primer, and I think this came out like at the end of 2017, and this is from Origins. It's the Pore Perfecting Cooling Skin Primer. This is probably my favorite primer in my collection. So this primer is incredibly like fun to use. It makes me happy every time I use it. It's basically a mousse. It is a mousse. Sounds awful when it comes out, but it's a mousse. It's kind of like a yogurt texture. It's super moussey and it feels completely cold. Like you just took it out of the refrigerator when you spray it onto your hand because it's magic basically. And then once you blend it out, it just turns into a normal primer. It has a little bit of a grip to it, so it's really great at having your foundation like stick onto it. And then it definitely also has a pore filling effect. It smells like oranges, like freshly peeled oranges. So it wakes me up every time that I use it. And also the cooling effect is really great. Like in the morning, it just helps depuff my skin all the time. So this is like my go-to primer with everything. It keeps my skin matte. It's not like overly dewy, but it still gives you hydration. Just an amazing product. I feel like this is something that's like super underrated. Highly recommend it. And then another thing you guys know I'm obsessed with, and I need a new one of this too, is the Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is something that's like a primer slash kind of tinted moisturizer slash miracle makeup product, because it just blurs out your pores, blurs out imperfections. It gives you a little bit of coverage, so it's something that I use on top of a primer and then go in with a foundation too, or I'll mix it in with my foundation. This is basically like an illuminating primer slash tinted moisturizer. It definitely has a tint to it. It is very lightweight. I wear the shade number 4, which is a shade medium. I think they have about 12 shades. And the reason I love this so much, so it's illuminating, but it's so subtle that it looks like it's your skin. So when you blend it out, I have a curling iron burn on my hand, so ignore that. But when you blend it out, it just has this like light reflecting quality to it that helps like make your skin look super airbrushed. So I'm so passionate about the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury. It's an amazing product. If you get carried away with it, it's gonna make your skin look a little bit oily, but at the same time, like whatever, it's still gonna look awesome. It's just gonna look like overly dewy, like very sun-kissed. So next, moving into foundations, and this is one that I'm super obsessed with. I just got back from South America. Super humid there. This is the only foundation I took with me because I knew it would keep my skin matte, but also be lightweight enough for every day. And this is the Power Play foundation from Cover FX. It is an awesome foundation because it gives you really nice coverage. I'm wearing it today. It gives you great coverage. It's pretty mattifying, but it doesn't look dry on your skin. It doesn't look heavy. It doesn't feel like anything on your skin, basically. So just an overall really great foundation. It feels lightweight. The only thing I'm not obsessed with is the application. Because you do need to squeeze it out, and I'm kind of at the end of this foundation and I'm paranoid that I'm not going to get like the rest of it out of the bottle. So that's the only thing that's like a little bit inconvenient once you start to run out of it, but otherwise it's definitely like easy to use and apply and everything like that. And then I wear the shade at G40, which is definitely a perfect match for me. I'm about one shade darker than MAC NC25. I'm not sure what shade that would be, but that's just like a little bit of reference in case you guys are curious. But really obsessed with this foundation. It's just like an overall great foundation. Very long wearing too if you need to wear your foundations for like 12, 13, 14 hours. This one I highly recommend because it's perfect for every day, but really great coverage, really long wearing, just an overall awesome foundation. The next foundation I have is from Stellar Beauty. This is an indie brand that's at Sephora. You can buy this online at Sephora. And this did come out in 2017. And then a couple months ago, I spoke to the owner, and they're actually gonna be elaborating their foundations and expanding on their undertones in early 2019. I believe in January last I heard. So definitely keep an eye out for this foundation and just this brand in general if you guys are not familiar with it. They have a lot of different warm undertones in their foundation. So if you have trouble finding like a warm undertone foundation that really matches you, you might be able to find it within this line. So definitely keep an eye out for Stellar Beauty. They are available in some stores at Sephora, but you can just buy everything from them online at Sephora. And I really love their foundation because it's kind of like the Cover FX foundation where it's just very practical for like everyday use. It gives you good coverage, it's long wearing. This one's like slightly, not so much dewier, but it gives you a little bit more of a luminous finish, which I really like. It's like a very natural finish, but still gives you really great coverage. It dries matte, it stays matte all day. It feels very lightweight, so definitely love this one. This is one that I wore all the time this year as well. So next up, moving into concealers. I have 4 different concealers going from kind of light coverage to super full coverage. So I'm gonna just go in order of the coverage. So the lightest coverage is the Hello Fab Bendy Avocado Concealer from First Aid Beauty. This is another product where it's a skincare brand that comes out with a makeup product. And I really like that because it's just like a really great consistency. It's very hydrating, it's very lightweight, but it still gives you really nice coverage. This is like a really great coverage for every day. I wear the shade at number 3 and it looks a little bit orangey, but once I blend it out, it matches perfectly. And I actually like the tint because it kind of cancels out dark circles too. So really love this one if you need something that's like more hydrating, if you have drier under eyes. It also doesn't crease up either. So next up we have the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer. This is more of a medium coverage, but it also has more of a hydrating and lightweight feel to it. It really reminds me of the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer, but it's like a little bit more radiant than that one and a bit more hydrating. I feel like that one does dry kind of quicker and it might be a little bit more coverage, but this has like a very similar consistency to it. And the shade that I wear in this one is W2. I know they have a ton of different shades, a ton of different undertones. This one is like a little bit warmer. It has like a regular applicator. And this one is definitely more coverage than that First Aid Beauty Concealer. And then next up, I have the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. I'm actually almost out of this. I can see like the edges on this concealer. I wear the shade Light Beige. And I really love this concealer because it really gives you awesome coverage. It has a really nice wand to it. It's a little bit smaller of a wand compared to like how big the bottle is. I did do a comparison to the original Born This Way concealer, and this one is definitely way more coverage. It does dry down a little bit quicker, but it just gives you a really nice like full coverage look. This is a perfect concealer if you need to cover up like breakouts or anything. I don't find that it creases under my eyes or like looks dry or cakey under my eyes at all. So definitely obsessed with this one. It's really awesome as well as an eyeshadow primer. I basically just use concealer as eyeshadow primer now too, but especially a more full coverage concealer that doesn't crease up, this one is perfect to set your eyeshadow. And then lastly, this concealer has the most coverage, and it's the high coverage concealer from Jouer. I love this concealer so much. I wear the shade Toast. I do have a whole swatch video on my channel if you guys want to find your shade within this concealer. I just love this one because it is really full coverage and it just covers up everything, and you don't need to wear a lot of it or apply a lot to get that coverage. So that is the shade Toast, and it is pretty similar to Tarte Shape Tape, but it's not as moussey as that formula. Really love this one if you guys want a full coverage concealer that's gonna last all day. It's not gonna crease up. At least it doesn't crease up on me. So really obsessed with this one. This is another one I'm gonna have to purchase again really soon. And then let's move into probably the best product of 2018. Game-changing, life-changing. Laura Mercier Translucent Glow Powder. I love this so much, and I cannot believe that I'm still on my first jar because I wear this every single day, and it's been like 4 or 5 months since this was first released. So this is such a transformative powder. It changed my life. At least it changed how my makeup looks on a day-to-day basis, because it just gives you this veil of hope whenever your skin is like your pores are all like messed up or like you're breaking out a lot. This will solve it all. Basically, like this really transforms my skin every single day. And especially like I've been breaking out a lot lately, or like I just haven't been taking care of my skin. Like I just got back from vacation and I was definitely not doing like all of my skincare steps. I was just like using a makeup wipe and going to bed instead of like my whole routine. So I really need to like get back on it with my skincare. But for the meantime, while I'm trying to cover up some texture and breakouts, this is something that just gives you such a filtered look to your skin because it just has this like luminosity to it that kind of blurs over your pores, blurs over textures, and really minimizes the look of any texture on your skin. So this is definitely one of those products I can't live without. Like my makeup looks so much better when I'm wearing this versus not. My skin looks like so much more dewy and healthy and glowy just from this powder versus like trying to get that same effect with a bunch of other products. So probably like the best product of 2018, honestly. And then moving into some contour products, bronzer products, I'm just gonna pull out two of my go-to contour products. So this is from Kevyn Aucoin. It's their Contour Book Volume 3. I love this so much. I got this in September and like I used the whole thing already. I just love the contour products from Kevyn Aucoin. They look so natural. They just go on like really creamy and they look real on your skin. It doesn't look like muddy on your face. So the actual quality of the powder is so amazing. It feels super high end. And then you have a bunch of different shades. I used up like all of the light shade because I always go in with a contour and then a shimmery bronzer on top. So I don't like to go in with anything like super heavy or super dramatic to start off my makeup. But you do have a lot of nice shades in here. You have a really nice blush in here. And then the highlighters are okay. I'm going to go in with a different highlighter because the highlighters are a little bit drier compared to what I normally like, but the blush and the contours in here are absolutely stunning. And then this is such an underrated contour kit too. This is the Smashbox Cali Contour Kit. This is what I travel with anytime that I go anywhere basically because it's like pretty compact. You have a mirror. Mine's all dirty because I just got back from vacation. I like pulled this out for this video. But this is what it looks like. I always mix together the like kind of cool tone contour color and then the bronzer shade. I just mix those both together as my contour. Then you have two highlighters, like a base color. This one is a little bit too light for me, but I will use this just to like set my eyes after I prime them, and then a blush. And what I really like about this kit is like you can mix and match everything together to kind of customize like different finishes. So like I said, I will mix the contour and the bronzer together. And then a lot of times I'll mix like one of the highlighters and the blush together, or like the bronzer and a little bit of the highlighter to give me more of like a shimmery bronzy looks. So this is one of the few contour kits where I use every single shade and I can kind of utilize it in different ways to give me like different looks and different finishes. And I think Smashbox also just released more of a deeper palette. This one is definitely more of like the light to medium tone. So definitely check that out because like the formula in here is amazing and all of the shades in here are also like super, super practical. So next moving into highlighters, and I'm definitely like super picky about highlighters. Like how they look on my skin, the different shades. Like I like to stick to basically these two highlighters that I'm gonna mention. I like to stick to the same highlighters on a day-to-day basis. I don't like to like really think about my highlighter too much. And once I find something that like complements my skin tone, I don't mess with it. And one of them is definitely the Anastasia Amrezy highlighter. I'm so glad that this is back because this is such a necessary highlighter in my collection. I wear it all the time. I just absolutely love this shade because it goes with every single makeup look. I love shades that are like more champagne tone like this. And it's definitely more of like a blinding highlighter. It's definitely super bold. The other highlight I'm going to mention is going to be like a very similar shade. But I really, really love the formula. It doesn't show like texture. It's not glittery or anything. And it goes with everything, like cool tone looks, really warm looks, like every kind of makeup looks. And then the next one is from Persona Cosmetics. This is the shade Zuma. This is my holy grail highlighter. Best highlighter I've ever tried, basically, because the formula, oh my gosh, this one is so broken. But the formula is so amazing of this highlighter because it's so silky and creamy and super, super pigmented. I always build it up. I'm wearing it today. I always build it up fairly dramatic because I get so happy every time I apply it. But you could definitely like wear it way more subtly. So this is the Persona highlighter. You can definitely tell that I like very similar shades. I love like bronzy highlighters because I feel like it makes me look like super tan. And then I also like champagne highlighters because I also feel like it makes me look super tan. So That is this shade. This one is like a slightly more gold compared to the Amrezy highlighter, but I feel like this just really complements my complexion really nicely. Like if you have more of like a light to medium or medium skin tone, I really recommend this highlighter. I love this formula so much. They have two other highlighters that are like dramatically different, but this shade Zuma is definitely my favorite. I feel like it's such an underrated product. Clearly I use it so much. I honestly wear it like every single day. And then I also wear the Amrezy highlighter whenever I'm not wearing the Zuma highlighter. But those are my two highlighter favorites for sure. The next I'm moving on to eyes, and I did just do my top 10 eyeshadow palette favorites from 2018. I will link that down below, but I have two single shadows that I rave about all the time, and it's from Hourglass and Marc Jacobs. These are their single shadows, like their glitter pigments basically. So this is the Scattered Lights glitter eyeshadow in the shade Reflect. This shade is just the one that I have, but I'm sure all of them are amazing. This is like my favorite kind of go-to shade for every day. I absolutely love this formula. So this is basically like a cream glitter eyeshadow. I'm trying to swatch this and it's getting like stuck under my nail, but this is the shade Reflect. It's actually like very similar to those highlighter shades that I just mentioned, but that's always like my go-to kind of lid color, like a bronzy champagne shade. But I love this formula because it's not like glittery, but it definitely gives you that like pigmentation and like really pops on your eyes. And then the other one that I love is from Marc Jacobs. This is called their Sequence Glam Glitter Eyeshadow. This one is definitely glittery compared to the Hourglass formula. And then the shade that I wear is Glam Girl. I talk about this all the time the past couple months, but this is so pretty. I love this. This definitely has more of like a glitter texture. Like you can definitely tell it has more of a pop to it compared to the Hourglass Scattered Lights. But the glitter in here isn't like super big and chunky. Like the glitters are very, very small and compact. So it doesn't like give you a lot of fallout, or it doesn't really give me any fallout at all. And it doesn't look like chunky stuff on your eyes. Like it looks glittery, but it's more of like a Stila glittering glow, like that kind of look on your eyes. But it's so beautiful. I love this shade so much. Like both of these are like my holy grail eye products of 2018. So I definitely recommend checking out both of those formulas. Highly recommend both. I can't pick one over the other because I like both for like different looks. Hourglass definitely more for day to day, but honestly I still wear glitter day to day too with the Marc Jacobs one, and I definitely need to pick up more shades in both formulas for sure. All right, so next I'm moving into lip products, and I wanted to show you guys 3 different formulas that I'm obsessed with this year and some of my favorite shades. So the first one is the Patent Liquid Lipsticks from Bare Minerals. These are the Gen Nude Patent Liquid Lipsticks. I had to look up the name because they have like Gen Nude lipsticks, liquid lipsticks, but these are like the shiny liquid lipsticks. And the one that I wear the most is the shade Yes. And this doesn't even have a label on it anymore because this lives in my purse. So I love this. This is my holy grail lip product. Like if I had to wear one thing on my lips every day forever, it would be this formula in this shade specifically, because this is like a go-to everyday nude, but it's also pigmented. So you're getting like the color payoff of a liquid lipstick, but the feel of a gloss. And that is what I've been obsessed with for several months now, and I'm always on the hunt for that in different formulas. So the next product is the Enamored Hydrating Lip Gloss Stick from Marc Jacobs. This is a very similar concept where it's like, it's a lip gloss stick. This is so cool. Like I love innovative products like this. I feel like there's not enough of these like kind of twists on products or like hybrids of products in makeup. I want to see more of that in 2019. But I just love the idea of this kind of product, and I also love the formula of this. It definitely doesn't give you the color payoff as the shiny liquid lipsticks that I mentioned, but it's something that it's so quick and easy to apply that I kind of basically apply this like chapstick throughout the day. This one specifically lives in my purse. This is the shade Mocha Chocolata. I also have the shade Sugar Sugar, which is definitely more of like a baby pink, like a very light nude color. But this one is my favorite for more of like a deeper nude shade. I just love this. It still gives you good color payoff, and it's also like minty and like plumps up your lips, but it's in a stick form. The only bad thing about the packaging is like once you twist it up, you can't twist it back down, which makes absolutely no sense to me. But otherwise, I absolutely love everything about this because it's just like more hygienic than a lip gloss. It gives you a little bit more color payoff. It's easier to apply. It's like more precise. I love this formula so much. And then lastly, like this is my favorite liquid lipstick formula of this year, and this is also from Persona Cosmetics. This is the shade OG. I absolutely love this color. This is a color I wear like almost all the time. Anytime I'm wearing like a nude liquid lipstick in a video, it's probably gonna be this one. This one smells like Thin Mints, and I love that. And I also love this shade. It's like a little bit of a deeper nude color. This is the shade OG. Just love this formula. It's very like long wearing, very light, very comfortable. It's a little bit moussey too, so it doesn't feel like paint on your lips, doesn't feel drying at all. But yeah, that is probably like my favorite liquid lipstick discovery of this year because it's so long wearing, very, very comfortable, and very opaque too. Okay guys, so that's gonna be everything for my top high-end makeup products from this year. These are all products that I wear either on a daily basis or like rotate between throughout the week. All products that I cannot live without. And I will list every product that I mentioned in my description box along with my top 10 eyeshadow palettes video if you guys want to know more of like my eyeshadow favorites as well from this year. And that's going to be everything for today's video. If you guys liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll talk to you guys soon in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.